The movie begins with Big Stan, a real estate agent, and he happens to be a very rich man. He has everything he ever dreamt of. He is vastly wealthy and has a beautiful wife named Mindy. When it comes to real estate deals, Stan happens to be an artist. He makes it feel like he is with his clients, but usually he is just robbing them off. The man just knows how to talk them into buying houses from him. One day, he is arrested for conning elderly people out of their savings. His lawyer, Mal, defends him at the trial presided over by Judge Perry. The forewoman finds him guilty, and the sentencing will be the next day. Mal refuses to bribe Judge Perry since he doesn't practice that kind of law, and tells Stan that any shyster on the street would do it for him. Inspired by the bench advertisement outside, Stan hires Lou Popper as a replacement. Inspired by the bench advertisement outside, Stan hires Lou Popper as a replacement. Judge Perry sentences Stan to 3 years at the Verlin State Correctional Facility, while giving him 6 months to reorganize the charity Stan established to teach music to retarded children. His lawyer advises him to run off to Brazil, but he tells him that he cannot go there because all of his assets have been frozen. Stan now starts living in the fear of what is going to happen to him after these 6 months. He starts doing his unfinished business. One evening, he takes his wife out for dinner, and while they eat, his wife tells him that he should get her pregnant, as when he is away, she will at least have the baby. Stan, however, says that it is a stupid idea and insults his wife, after which he gets really upset and leaves the restaurant. Stan goes to a bar where he spots a man, and he can't take his eyes off of the man's tattoo, in which something is written about going to jail. Stan realizes that this man has been in prison, and he goes on to give the man $100 to give him some advice regarding prison. The man tells him that prison is the most unsafe place. The guards do not care if the prisoners are fighting or someone is being beaten, and sometimes they are even beaten to death. He then sizes up Stan and says that he is going to get raped in jail just because he is a small man. Stan now understands the rumors about prisoners becoming homos are true after all. He then shows Stan his tattoos, saying they also help keep the bad boys away because they think that he himself is a bad boy. Stan then shows him a tattoo of his mother's face, and the man from the bar says, "You are definitely getting beaten up in there." He then tells Stan to join a group when he goes to jail, otherwise his life is going to be hell. The other thing he can do to keep the other prisoners away is to kill someone. The next morning, Stan is still hungover when his wife wakes him up, and he tells her that he is really scared of going to prison. She, however, encourages him, saying he always finds a way out of bad times. Stan then starts preparing for his time in prison. He gets a tattoo on his butt and also joins a martial arts club to learn self-defense. Stan gets into a fight with a boy at the club and loses control, so the teacher kicks him out. When he goes out, he sees an old man called who punches the wall, and the wall cracks. Stan is really impressed by him and tells him his whole story. He brings the old man to his house so that he could start training with him. Mindy, however, does not seem to be a fan of the idea and the things she has to do. The master makes him do really weird stuff and makes him drink gross things, and Mindy feels like puking while making those drinks. Master's training is really hard. He beats Stan with the burning sticks and hangs him from his own skin. Mindy is getting sick of everything, and she tells Stan to kick him out of their house. When Stan gets sick of Mindy's complaining, he decides to teach her a lesson. He pretends to be worried and tells her that they are about to be attacked, and Mindy could get raped as well. Mindy gets really scared, and this is when he tells her that these things could very much happen to him in jail, so he has to be prepared for it. Mindy gets even more upset and packs her bags and leaves, telling Stan that she does not want to live with him anymore. Master is happy about her leaving because Stan can focus more on training now. For the next 5 months, he trains like crazy and becomes a really good martial artist.
Don't look at what you're doing, just feel.
Stan then makes his way to the martial arts club from where he was kicked out. He sees that trainer and beats the shit out of him. Master then tells him that he is ready. The Master and his lawyer take Stan to the court. Mindy still hasn't talked to Stan, but she sees him going inside the court and cries. Just as Stan goes in, he is sent to the prison in a bus full of prisoners. After a while, the man sitting with him touches him in an inappropriate manner, but Stan goes on to teach him a lesson right there. When he gets to the prison, all the guards tell the batch of prisoners that they will not mess with the prison staff and are allowed to do anything they want in between the prisoners. They then ask all the prisoners to take their pants off in order to search them thoroughly, but are shocked when they see the tattoo on Stan's butt. He meets an old inmate named Larry, who is serving a life sentence for murdering his partner. Larry tells him about the gangs in the prison, saying one gang is of black people, the other is Mexicans, and there is a group of scientists as well who are also very much capable of killing anyone. Larry then shows him a big man famous as Big Raymond, who happens to be the most dangerous inmate. Stan sees that Raymond is trying to scare the new inmates. He approaches him and tells him to let go of the boy. Big Raymond treats Stan as a joke and tells him to go away. It turns out to be a big mistake, as Stan goes on to beat the shit out of him and breaks all his fingers, humiliating him in front of all the prisoners.
It does!
The leader of the Nazi group is really impressed by him and offers him to join their group, but Stan beats him as well. After that, some black men approach Stan and confront him for beating up their fellow black man. Stan tries to knock some sense into them at first to keep things peaceful, but they do not comply, and Stan beats the crap out of all of them as well. Stan is now the most famous and the most feared of them all. Everyone starts respecting him in prison, and wherever he goes, people get out of the way. One day, when Stan is eating, the boy named Robbie comes to him. He is the boy Stan saved from Raymond. He thanks Stan for saving him, but Stan tells him that all that he did out there was for himself and not for him. Stan also befriends a sympathetic prison guard named Bullard and learns more about the cliques and gang activities inside the prison. He then uses his newfound skills to bring peace and harmony to the prison yard by intimidating his fellow inmates like Big Raymond and preventing them from harming each other. With this, peace is restored at Verlaine State Correctional Facility, and Stan gains their respect, eventually becoming their leader. However, the corrupt warden Gasquet has plans to force its closure with a riot and sell off the property as valuable real estate. Stan helps him with the real estate aspects in exchange for early parole. Stan agrees to the warden's plan. In the meantime, he starts working with the prisoners, and the prison becomes really peaceful. One day, Stan receives a letter from his wife, who tells him that she really misses him and wants to see him. Stan is over the moon, as he too has been missing his wife very badly. One day, she comes to see him, and the warden arranges a room for them. They spend some quality time together and make love. The warden sees from the window that the whole prison is really peaceful, and that of course does not sit well with him. He orders the guard to bring him Stan. When Stan is in bed with his wife, the guards show up and drags him out of there. The warden then goes on to tell him that his peacemaking efforts threaten his grand plan for a riot. He tells Stan to make it right because he is the one who could very much end up sabotaging the whole plan by bringing peace between the prisoners. He tells Stan that if he does not do as the warden tells him, he is going to be in prison for the whole 3 years, or even more than that. Stan does not want to end the peace, so he calls his lawyer to take his opinion. The lawyer right away tells him to do as the warden asks, or he will either kill Stan or make his life hell. The lawyer tells him not to underestimate the warden, as he has the power and also happens to be a brutal man when he does not get his way. Stan then decides to make the prisoners go back to fighting and tells them that they can go back to being animals if they want, as it is not his responsibility to keep everything in check. One day, while he is having lunch, Robbie comes to Stan, but he gets pissed off and tells him to go away. Larry understands that something is going on with Stan. In a last-minute attack of conscience, he deliberately blows the parole hearing to rush back and prevent the deaths of his fellow inmates, only to discover that his message of peace has sunk in, and the prisoners are dancing instead of fighting. Warden Gasquet orders the guards to open fire on the dancing men. When they refuse, he grabs a gun in front of the Board of Governors and shoots wildly. Warden Gasquet attempts to shoot Stan, but he is stopped by Mindy and the Master, who had snuck in. Stan was surprised that the Master had trained Mindy during his incarceration, when he had thought they were having an affair during an earlier phone call. 3 years have gone by, and it is the day when Stan is to leave the prison. All the prisoners are gathered there, and they are ready to say goodbye to the man who taught them the importance of unity.
Don't touch me!
Oh, shit. Gee, not that.
Patterson takes his shirt off and shows off his stomach, at which he has tattooed Stan's face. Mindy, along with the Master, comes to pick up Stan from the prison, along with her and Stan's daughter. He reunites with his family as a totally different man.